Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I was so much older then, I'm younger than that now. No doubt. I look young, I feel young, have stamina, Iron Horse type stamina. Is it better to look good or feel good? Well, when we were truly young, it's all about the looks, right? Now it's about how you feel, and I feel freaking awesome at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday right here in Duval. You've had a day to kind of digest it, if you will. Straight up, how many feel better today than you did yesterday? And the writing was on the wall. This is an incredibly improved football team. They weren't winning a Super Bowl this year. I was consistent with that on a week-to-week basis, but they're closer, and they're closer, and they're closer. It is going to be just an unreal offseason. Decision after decision after decision. There are so many that this organization is going to have to make. And even right now, with cap problems and no first-round draft pick, still totally believe the Jaguars are going to improve their roster until things get cranked up late in July this year. All right, so we got a ton to do. It's good to have you with us. Dylan Denmark is here. It's his final week. We're all celebrating the fact that Dylan's leaving. Did I say that incorrectly?
No, Dempsey said the same thing in the morning. You're saying it. Hackle said eventually.
Dylan Denmark's final week. He's moving on to greener pastures. And are you, as a coach, have you put yourself in the running for one of these 9 vacancies around the NFL?
No, I don't think I'm qualified yet. Give me another 3 years. Maybe when I turn 29 next year, like Udinski, I'll be qualified.
Yeah, you'd be 1 year away from Great Udinski. I believe he just turned 30. Might have been yesterday or something along those lines. And that's why I want to begin with this, because it does apply to Jacksonville. And, you know, where this organization is now is keeping everyone who makes this football team better around. They're going to cut bait with some players. They'll lose some coaches if it is a promotion. Be very surprised if there's any lateral moves with position coaches or anything along those lines. I would be surprised. My opinion is the building is great. The Miller Electric Center is great. Winning is contagious. It was an 18-week, make it 19-week, 18-season game that went by about as fast as anything as I can remember around here. Just think about how long it was a year ago, how long it was 2 years ago. But Mike Tomlin is out. He's 53. I think he grabs the job at Fox and replaces Jimmy Johnson, who's going to head to the tip of this great state and continue his fishing throughout the Keys. We know the resume of Mike Tomlin. It was impressive that he never had a losing season in 19 years. He made the playoffs 13 times. He won the AFC North 8 times. 193, 114, and 2. The problem, playoffs. Okay, 8-12, and hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. I can't even, for the life of me, imagine what the pressure must be like to be a head coach in pro football. 9 head coaches are out. 8 firings? And that includes that entire division. I mean, if you had Zach Taylor as the longstanding coach in the AFC North, all the power to you. Harbaugh fired, Tomlin fired, and Kevin Stefanski fired, who many believe is a really good coach. And he's probably going to get a job. He seems to be right now behind only John Harbaugh as far as coaches who were fired, who is in line to grab a new job. I think John Harbaugh can pick his job, right? He did so in Atlanta today. A lot of people think he's ripe for the Miami job. But then after that, the list is kind of bland. I mean, Kevin Stefanski's being mentioned. Obviously, Mike Tomlin could grab a job. He's still under contract for 2 more years. So they would have to work out a package financially. And you can also make the case that Pittsburgh, if it was to happen here in the next month, they could trade Mike Tomlin and actually receive some compensation. We've seen that historically speaking, right? Belichick, Gruden, was the Sean Payton? Was he traded as well?
Yes.
When even though he was done, he was still under contract and he was moved after a year as a broadcaster. So, that could happen here for Mike Tomlin, who, is still only 53. The guy won a Super Bowl in his second year at the age of 36. And, I look around and what worries, it doesn't worry me, okay? What is a little bit of a concern when you look at what's going on here with a 30-year-old Grant Udinski, where, for the record, I don't think he gets a job. He's too young. He is. He's got to be more tested in this league. And I know younger head coaches is the way that the game has gone. He's going to be a head coach at some point. Then again, I really kind of felt the same thing, 5 years ago with Press Taylor. I thought he had the moxie. I thought he had the NFL pedigree, the language, seemed to acknowledge the right things, was great at being long-winded without telling you anything, which is really, classic, canned, old-school type of coaches, and that's not going to happen now for Press Taylor. But I do feel comfortable in believing that it's at least a couple of years away for Grant Udinski. Anthony Campanile, well, you know what? I think people get stuck on what have you done lately? And allowing that late touchdown, the defensive breakdowns that the Jaguars had 2 days ago, including that final drive against Buffalo, may be enough for owners and general managers to say, not yet, getting closer, did a wonderful job here in Jacksonville, but not yet. However, all it takes is for one team to fall in love with one of these two guys. That's all it takes. That's what happened with Liam Cohen, right? Liam Cohen, and there was some other talk that maybe another team liked him, although it was never really confirmed. It was never really discussed. When you had the whole coaching scenario evolve a year ago, right? Remember, at this point, Doug Peterson was out. Trent Baalke had begun the process of looking for the new head coach. And Liam Cohen's name wasn't thrown around as far as the other vacancies in the NFL. Yet it was Jacksonville who identified him. It was Jacksonville who went after him. And, right now it appears that it was a home run. It was an A hire, even though some of you out there, many of you out there, still may be, down and out and question some coaching decisions that Cohen did make. The two things that really come to play here for Cohen. Number one, he went for it on 4th down. Okay? I'm okay with that. He's an aggressive coach. Again, you know how I feel on 4th downs. Go for it, go for it, go for it. Why in the hell did he go for it? Fans are never wrong on 4th down, and we're going to acknowledge that. You are 100% right. Who cares if you said go for it, then you didn't get it, and you say, why did they go for it? That's fine. That's fandom. You're allowed to do that. I'm okay with the 4th down, not going for the field goal, going and trying to pick up a 1st down, score a touchdown. I'm not okay with him abandoning the run. That was an in-game tweet. That was something I wrote, throw out there a couple of times. Just that part, I think, really sticks out more than anything. And again, the only reason why I mention it is some of you are probably still stuck on that. But nonetheless, I think Liam Cohen was a wonderful hire, magnificent hire, and we'll see what ends up happening. But it just feels like it is such an untested pool of candidates. I mean, there's not like you can just point at anyone and say, he's the guy. He's the man. He's going to fix this organization. And maybe the best of it all is apparently not going to coach next year in Mike Tomlin. To me, without any question, if Tomlin is eliminated, it's John Harbaugh, okay? He is a number one. And after that, it is a significant drop-off. I just went off and talked about Kevin Stefanski. Do we really know? Mike McDaniel's going to get interviews. Do we really know? You have coaches who've been out for a year who may get another opportunity, like Mike McCarthy, like Jason Garrett. Do you really know? Bill Belichick. I mean, there are 9 vacancies. Bill Belichick's going to be 74 in April. Bill Belichick, it was a tough year on Tobacco Road, and I understand that there are millions and millions who say Belichick can't win without Tom Brady. You know what? It's hard to argue that point. It really is. But out of the jobs that are open, if you give Bill Belichick an opportunity with a quarterback who's already established, or if you're getting one real high up in this year's draft, I think that would be pretty intriguing to look past. I also feel like there might be some unspoken, dare I say, collusion that Belichick's out, let's keep him out, yada, yada. I don't know that. It's just more of a gut feeling. But when we come back after our first break, I want to look at this because it does apply to Jacksonville. This now becomes a domino effect. Jaguar fans, you want names being mentioned. We already know that Grant Udinski's going to interview for that job in Cleveland. To me, that's a death trap. For me, Grant Udinski will be coaching high school football in 4 years if he grabs that job at Cleveland. I think you need to be smart as well, and you need advice from others, okay? You want to be in a situation where you're so coveted that you can pick your job. Don't go to a place where you can literally see the end of the world, okay? And you can have it proven to you that, in fact, the world is flat. That's Cleveland. No one wins in Cleveland. So I would say no to that job. I honestly would. And look at all the quarterbacks they've been through. Kansas City's going to open in a year, I would think, with Andy Reid. I mean, how many more is he going to give you? 1, 2, if that? That's probably the end of the road there for Andy Reid. I would think the same thing would be said with Sean Payton. If Denver wins a Super Bowl and gets it done with Bo Nix, and I don't think it happens this year, but if it happens in the next 2 or 3 years, how much longer is he going to want to coach? Again, with this grind and everything that's going into it, as far as the amount of pressure, that's just sick. And I get it. Peyton's got more clout than most coaches around the league. But this candidate list is scary. It really is. It's so unproven. And that's what it comes down to. All right. In most organizations, it's one man who decides, and he will check in with the owner. We know around here, it's a, 3-headed scenario where Baselli, Gladstone, and Cohen are now all in agreement. Remember, that whole hiring process was completely ass backwards. Okay. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It was done totally against the norm. Now, it's worked, okay? I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. I didn't like how it all was put together, all right? Trent Baalke should have been fired the day that Doug Peterson was fired. I happen to be right on that one, that Baalke would stick around. I was right for 16 days. You said a lot of mean things to me. I took it personally when I made those comments involved there about Trent Baalke. But the way that this thing was built was really odd, okay? But how many people have forgotten about that? How many locally have forgotten about that? Nationally, I got to believe just about everyone remembers how this new brass was put together. and it's working. So it just moves on down the road. But that's the biggest thing right now here today. All right, free agency doesn't begin for another 2 months. That's February 11th. Legal tampering period, March 11th, excuse me. Legal tampering period is 2 days prior. So that'll be March 9th. The NFL draft is exactly 100 days away. That is what you're thinking right now, okay? The roster, who are you letting go, free agency in 2 months, the NFL draft in 100 days. The most important thing right now, hold on to Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanile, and it's not even close. Come back. Let's get through some of these candidates a little bit. I also spent a lot of time, a lot of effort. Yeah, I really did. I love effort. I'm an effort guy, and I got my own little game plan on what I think the Jags need to do in the next couple of months with this roster. They got to find a way to create some cash. They also have to find a way to re-sign some of their own. I say this often as well. To me, one of the greatest examples of a successful football franchise is that you can't re-sign your players. Mike Tomlin dealt with that. Bill Cowher dealt with that. Bill Belichick dealt with that. Pete Carroll dealt with that in Seattle. Okay, some of the great teams that we've seen since the turn of the millennium, and I guess that wouldn't really apply all that much, I guess the first 5 years for Bill Cowher, is drafting players, have them get so good you can't afford to re-sign. This team can't afford to re-sign Etienne and Lloyd. You may slap a franchise tag on them and get them for a year, but if you do that, you know what's going to happen. They're going to hold out. They're going to be disgruntled. I don't think that locker room needs that. It's one of positivity. And this organization and the former regime did it all the time, right? They tagged Yannick Ngakoue. They tagged Cam Robinson twice. They tagged Evan Ingram 1 year. So we'll see what happens. And it sounds great to me. 1 year guaranteed cash. You know, it's big money. But agents hate it, and therefore the players end up disliking it. All right, let's take our first break of the night. I will tell you that tonight's show is brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Hey, there's a lot of misguided information out there on cataract surgery. All right, it can be incredibly helpful. But here's the deal. You need to sit down and talk with the doctors at Shmunez Vision. It may be treatable without surgery. If surgery is needed, well, then here's the deal. You get an examination by Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, or Dr. John Hunt. And then if surgery is recommended, okay, they're going to take you through it all. They're going to answer any question that you may have. That's not the way that all practices work. They'll send you down the hall to a surgery counselor. Don't you want information? Don't you want a direct Q&A with the individual, the doctor who is actually going to perform the surgery? Heck yeah, you do. And they've been doing it for more than 37 years, including on my right eye 9 years ago. That's just one of the options that's there and available for you. But if you go to Shmunez Vision, you can also really educate yourself on what you need as far as consistency when it comes to eye care. I told you my last visit, he told me I was suffering from an allergy. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. My eyes aren't red. I feel fine. He's like, I'm telling you, brother, you got an allergy. And he gave me something to take, a new remedy that I practice, perhaps not as much as I should, but you know, I'm not one that lies. I always tell the truth, even if it does cost me. I'll get back on that. Dr. Shmunez. You can do the same. Go to Shmunez Vision online. You can also go to Instagram, get the very latest at Shmunez Vision. Your thoughts are coming up on this program, but let's stay with the coaching carousel, and then we'll get deeper into the Jaguars and some moves that I believe this team needs to make in the very near future.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Offense, defense, and special teams all contribute.
We got ourselves a roster.
After the game, pump up the Superior Plumbing Special Teams Player of the Game.
They got to match eye intensity.
On 1010XL.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
What Major League Baseball pitcher holds the record for most career no-hitters and over 5,000 strikeouts?
Just letting your homeowner's insurance renew each year may cost you money. Shop around and you may find a better plan. Let Southern Oak Insurance give you an option at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Nolan Ryan's 7 career no-hitters might be an unbreakable record, but his 5,714 strikeouts certainly is.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLS, consumeraccess.org.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Ready to race, Jacksonville? Indoor racing anytime at K1 Speed. Fast electric karts, real competition, and family fun. Buy 2 races, get 1 free every Tuesday. Cruise over to K1 Speed Jacksonville today. Your top destination for indoor racing.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, 8 teams remain. Houston, wow, their defense is scary. They won 10 in a row, and that team can beat the New England Patriots. Don't kid yourself. The road has been kind. 4 out of the 6 ball games, the road team was a winner. And, you know, that's really saying something. What? Only New England and Los Angeles were actually winners at home. So 4 of the 6. We'll see what ends up happening. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. I love how the NFL spreads this out now come playoffs time. And for those of you unaware, it's Buffalo at Denver. That'll be Saturday at 4:30. Denver favored by 1.5 points. Divisional matchup. They'll meet for the third time. They split in the regular season, although Kittle is out now for San Fran. That's going to be a tough putt. Going on the road, Seattle favored by 7.5. That'll be at 8 o'clock. Sunday at 3, the Texans at the Pats. Again, the Pats better on the road. They were the only undefeated road team in the NFL this year at 8-0. Only 6-3 in Foxborough. And then at 6:30, it's the Rams and Bears at Soldier Field. The 11-6 Chicago Bears, 6-2 at home. LA favored on the road by 3.5 points. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. I'm going to tell you about them in a couple of minutes. But let's dive into this because to me, it is especially intriguing. It's a unusual list. And just think of the names who were on the list last year and the names that were on the list a couple of years ago. And I think you had, 6 or 7 coaching changes one season ago. And 3 were home runs. Liam Cohen was a home run. Mike Vrabel was a home run. The situation in Chicago, what am I thinking of? The former offensive coordinator, what's his name? The former offensive coordinator of the
Jags.
No, of the Detroit Lions, who's now the head coach of the Chicago.
Johnson.
Ben Johnson, thank you. I knew that. You just get older every once in a while and you forget. Yeah, even though I feel younger now than I once did. The brain maybe doesn't work the way I want it to. But there were a lot of names that were being, passed around, the Grant Udinskis and all of this and all of that. Aaron Glenn, right? The disastrous first season. Pete Carroll got a one and done. So you look this year and, fired coaches, Harbaugh clearing away number 1. Tomlin would be there as well, but I think he's going to go into the television booth. And then you have Kevin Stefanski and Mike McDaniel. All right. The most talked about coaches right now to grab jobs are as follows. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay. What does that do for you? Honestly, what does it do? Okay. Brian Flores. All right. Now he's tested. He learned under Belichick. He, as well, his years in Miami were certainly very plentiful, and he had 3 years as a head coach. I think everyone out there will tell you that you learn an awful lot from the first time you were a head coach to the second time that you're a head coach. Brian Flores in Minnesota's done a really nice job of that defense. I think he's going to get another job. Robert Saleh. Although I guess the tone on Saleh is that he's a little bit greedy here and wants to wait for the right job. Well, there's 9 that's open. I mean, if you can't find one there, then okay. But, as I said earlier with Grant Udinski, I get it a little bit. Do you want to grab a thankless job? Do you want to go to a place where you can't win? Like Cleveland? Do you want to go to a place where you can't win and you don't have a quarterback? Like Arizona? Do you want to go to a place that just feels irrational with Mark Davis and Tom Brady in Las Vegas? I would say no to those jobs. Easy for me to sit here and say it, but I'm just thinking about Brian Flores. Offensively, Clint Kubiak. Okay, great bloodlines with his dad, Gary Kubiak, doing some wonderful things in Seattle. Again, a lot of these coaches, they're all in the playoffs outside of, now Minter's out, outside of Flores. If you're waiting on Robert Saleh, he could get knocked out this week. If you're waiting on Clint Kubiak, well, odds are right now that Seattle is the team to beat as far as winning this year's Lombardi Trophy. All right, a couple of other names. Marcus Freeman consistently says he's not leaving Notre Dame. All right. We know that money can change that. I don't know what his salary is at Notre Dame. I have to believe it's competitive. For crying out loud, man, the Fighting Irish have coffers that are insane. They are independent, but they still make money. In football, they make money from the Atlantic Coast Conference and other sports, a lot of which are non-revenue generating sports. But Marcus Freeman, if you were to offer him a gig that he liked and tacked on another $5 million, it may be too difficult to say no to, especially after Marcus Freeman was upset about being left at the altar. By the way, college football is already talking about going from 12 to 16 teams as early as next year with the college football playoff. I'm all for it. The more, the better, but we'll get to that at a later time. All right, Steve Spagnuolo, been mentioned forever, hasn't gotten a job. All right, the success of those Kansas City coaches, it never really worked. I mean, remember Eric Bieniemy for year after year after year after year after year was mentioned, never got a gig. Lou Anarumo, all right, defensive coordinator in Indy. Anthony Weaver, defensive coordinator in Miami. Jeff Hafley, that is who Anthony Campanile worked under in Green Bay. Vance Joseph, another guy who actually went back to Denver after he was fired by the Broncos, going back, 10, 11, 12 years ago? Actually says here he was a head coach 2017 and 18 in Denver. Chris Shula with the Rams. Leslie Frazier, another guy whose name comes up almost every cycle. All right? And, unfortunately for Leslie Frazier, there have been times where many have considered him a token interview under the Rooney Rule, which I hate to even say, but a lot of people have defined him as that. They really like him in Seattle as the assistant head coach. So there you go. And he was the head coach of Minnesota years 2011 through 2013. All right, when I come back, let's also get to the offensive coaches here, and then let's begin to look at what I think the Jaguars need to do in the near future here to help their football team. I think, where I'm at, the trust level is really at an all-time high. The moves that this organization makes, more hits than misses, no doubt. And, we'll dive into that, no doubt about it. Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander, he's been doing this for well over 30 years. He's been AV rated for more than 20 years by Martindale and Hubble. It's the gold standard for anyone who practices law, produced by the peer review ratings. And what Rick likes to do as a former prosecutor is represent those who have been personally injured, particularly in a car accident. That applies to you. And again, you are personally injured, bodily harm. Your transportation could be totaled, okay? These are the type of calls that he receives and cares about, works with his clients directly. Every single person that he's involved with, again, it's not just his firm, it's also Rick Alexander himself. So pick up the phone, make the call. It's a free consultation, and then you can start to ask these type of questions. You could have a new car out by the end of the week. You could go see a doctor or a physical therapist immediately. These are what you need to do as far as asking questions. So, the best way to do it is just go to 400-6600, place a call. And as always, it is a free consultation at Alexander Law Practice. All right, we got much more to do. We do tonight till 8 o'clock. Let's look at the offensive side. Again, it's not a great list. It's a totally unproven list is probably the best way to say it, right? And that was the case in 2 to 3 coaches who did so well a year ago with Cohen and Johnson, right? Vrabel was tested, no doubt about it, and he has done a fantastic job in New England. All right, so much more to do with you tonight till 8.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
RestoPros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
RestoPros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
RestoPros!
Be the first to discover the best new home community in beautiful Green Cove Springs. Highland Trail, where the rhythm of life slows down. Enjoy green spaces, luxury pools, pickleball courts, winding trails, and more at livehighlandtrail.com. Choose from 3 premium builders, just starting in the 300s.
Oh, at Highland Trail.
Hi, folks. It's Frank Frangie. Did you know that individuals over age 60 have great results on Awaken 180? See how you could drop weight and get off your medications in just 3 months with Awaken 180's Golden Program. Visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Florida doesn't ease into the heat. It comes fast and it comes hard. And if your AC barely survived last summer, you're already on borrowed time. That's why Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning wants you to start the year off strong with a new AC system. Make the smart move before summer hits. Right now, get their lowest price of the year, $1,000 off a new AC system when you install by February 28th. Call now to schedule your free estimate and get ahead of the season. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Running a small business is tough, so the Florida Small Business Development Center at UNF provides a free business checkup, a personalized analysis that helps you boost profits, your online presence, and increase your company's value. No cost, no strings attached. It's guidance from experts who understand what it takes to succeed in business. Whether you're just starting out or ready to expand, it's time to act. Complete a request for consulting at unf.edu/SBDC.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, there were 7 coaching changes a year ago. There are 9 to date with the Mike Tomlin announcement. He has officially resigned. So he's still under contract for 2 more years. He just can't go and grab another job. There would have to be, a transaction involved, and Pittsburgh could trade him to whatever team wants him and receive something in return. So, that doesn't get talked about a lot. It has happened, historically speaking, in the NFL. You look at first-year coaches last year. I mean, Liam Cohen, 13-4, absolutely spectacular. Vrabel, 14-3. Ben Johnson, 11-6. Brian Schottenheimer in Dallas, 7-9. Aaron Glenn, Pete Carroll, 3-14, and Kellen Moore was 6-11. So you just wonder, out of all those hires, I mean, Cohen, Vrabel, and Ben Johnson, as expected, the Schottenheimer, Glenn, Carroll, Kellen Moore bus, how many were happy with those hires? Well, Pete Carroll's already been fired. I mean, Aaron Glenn, that's a no-win job. Jets have now gone, 14 consecutive years without making it to the playoffs?
Yeah, since 2010, 2011, one of the two.
Nuts. The pressure in Dallas. Can you imagine working for Jerry Jones in Dallas? And then you got Kellen Moore in New Orleans. All right. So, and he improved late in the year. So 9 more new ones this year. The only reason why I'm going through it is because, where you are as Jaguar fans, the most important step that is there right in front of you is holding on to Liam Cohen's staff. Now, if Liam Cohen decides to make a change in his staff position-wise, then you trust the process, but there's no question about it. Keeping Anthony Campanile is far and away the number one situation. Grant Udinsky's important, but Grant Udinsky does not call plays, right? That's why it was so important a year ago, and I was yelling about it a year ago. Hire an offensive coach who is going to be the play caller. Out of last year's field, let's see, Cohen offense, Vrabel defense, Ben Johnson offense, Schottenheimer offense, Aaron Glenn defense, Pete Carroll defense, Kellen Moore offense. So, offensive names this year. Clint Kubiak is the most attractive offensive name that is there in Seattle. Again, comes from a wonderful family. After that, you're talking about Joe Brady. Is Joe Brady ever going to get an opportunity? We all remember what he did with that LSU team 5-6 years ago. Is he going to get a head coaching job? Cliff Kingsbury, he's been fired, college and pro. Cliff Kingsbury, they believe, and he's already, announced that he's left the District of Columbia 1 year after making it to the NFC Championship game. Todd Monken, formerly a coach here, a coach at Georgia. Baltimore is one of the few teams kind of like Buffalo where they really prefer, when healthy, to run first, pass second. And I say that not with Derrick Henry, who, of course, is still a beast, but it was an injured year for LaMarcus, So Mike Kafka, I don't think New York holds on to him. Okay, replacing Brian Daboll, but he's a guy that's being mentioned. And you look at some of these names. Davis Webb. Seems like yesterday I remember him playing college football. Matt Nagy. Kansas City and Denver, respectively. Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt. He's with the Rams. He's learning under Sean McVay. I mean, Thomas Brown, another kid who played at Georgia. He's really moved up. He's the passing game coordinator of the New England Patriots. So, I mentioned these names. Does any name stick out to you? It's like, oh my God, yeah, that's the guy you got to go get right now. It seemed like last year, Ben Johnson was like an absolute given. Mike Vrabel was an absolute given. Outside of John Harbaugh, I can't find a given that is available right now.
Yeah, there is no I have to get this guy or I feel like I'm missing out on the party. Tomlin would, but I don't think Tomlin's going to jump into a head coaching job right away. I think he's going to take a gap, take a year or two off, and then join a team, be a right fit, kind of like Vrabel did. I got fired or I stepped down, whatever the case may be. I'm going to wait for a really good job to come open and a good organization. Like you were talking about the Browns and the Jets. Those are not well-run organizations, and they don't usually attract a very good coach.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys you named, those are just kind of guys. And it's kind of recycled, either guys that are coordinators now that don't seem like they're a hot shot, or once upon a time they were head coaches that did not work at their team that they were at.
If you look at this league and the way it is, and you're Mike Tomlin, I think you wait to pick your job. Again, how much longer is Kansas City going to be there for Andy Reid? I do happen to believe, because he's such a gamer, that even though Mahomes is done with the torn ACL, the kid had surgery, man, before the swelling even went down. Okay, I think he's going to come back and be bigger and better than he has ever been. But you look at some other jobs, okay, that have quarterbacks. And if you're Mike Tomlin, even though he's a defensive-minded coach, that's the other part of this. You could go to an organization as a kind of eye in the sky, a defensive analyst. I read about that earlier today. I find that hard to believe, because he would still have to be a part of the grind. It's not a grind when you're a weekend broadcaster, when you're a studio host, okay? all they do is sit around and laugh. It's the greatest job in sports. You know what the greatest job in football is? It's a backup quarterback, right? You make money, you add to your pension, and guess what? Your body stays together. I've been watching college NFL Today shows since the day of Irv Cross and Brent Musburger and Jimmy the Greek and going way back in the time. All they do during these shows is make a comment on a highlight, and then everyone else laughs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the greatest job that you could ever have as a former player or head coach.
Yeah, you kind of sit there, you're like, here's the main teams. We're going to talk about the Cowboys, the Patriots. We're not going to worry about the Jags. We're not going to worry about the bad teams. And, here's your 30 seconds. Here's your 30 seconds. Here's your 30 seconds. And then we got to go to break.
Yeah, and then Terry Bradshaw says something stupid and everyone laughs. Or, Jerry Glanville, I remember back when he was doing it. Now Gronk will be eating a sandwich and they're on it. Everyone will laugh. And listen. If you can get that type of job, are you kidding me? That's like the best job available. The only coach who remained in the North was Zach Taylor. What if Mike Tomlin is saying, give me Joe Burrow. Give me those wide receivers. I can win with that team. Okay? Detroit. How much longer is the Dan Campbell situation going to continue? Again, things change fast in this league. 9 coaching changes this year, 6, make that 7 a year ago. Okay, that's 16. That's half the league has changed in 2 years. And more and more are coming. That hot list will come. I mean, Nick Sirianni's going to be on the hot list. Nick Sirianni. They just won a Super Bowl. He's going to be on it. Who else will be on it next year? Certain Dan Campbell is going to be on it. Zach Taylor is going to be on it. Sean McDermott, okay, big win. That probably takes a little bit of heat off of him. But more names will certainly come about. There's no doubt. I mean, that's just the way this league is. All right, let's get you involved with the show. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube tonight, 1010XL into the night.
Catch Gators basketball on 1010XL.
After dominating ranked Georgia and Tennessee, the Gators roll the Big Mo to Boomer Sooner, Florida, Oklahoma. Tonight at 8:30 on 1010 AM.
Divorce, menonly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
If you're thinking about getting a new roof sometime this year, Endless Summer Roofing can help. I'm Claudia, owner of Endless Summer Roofing. Stronger materials, expert installation, real peace of mind. A new roof isn't just an upgrade. It's the primary source of protection for your family home. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com for a free inspection today, and I'll make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Endless Summer Roofing. Protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Online. Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5, Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
All right, Ballou here. Small business owners need trucks and vans to keep your business moving. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside has Ram 1500s to heavy-duty 2500s, ProMasters, and custom upfits. They're ready to work. Visit them on Commonwealth Avenue or go online to jaxwest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local partner for work-ready vehicles.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJax.com. That's COYLE Jax.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Hicken here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
I'm with Refuse Cycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here, and the cooler weather is upon us. Folks, it's the perfect time to try the new breakfast sandwich from Dandy Foods. A hearty one, too. A twin-pack cinnamon swirl and country sausage. You get the sweet first, then the salty kicks in, and trust me, they are addicting. And you'll find them all at daily stores around town. So the next time you're out and about, stop and get all that deliciousness in less than a minute from Dandy. Just one more reason to go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Just the Guy 904 on YouTube, and you can join them. Go to 1010XL Into the Night on YouTube. It says 3 major mistakes by the head coach, and he's 0-1 in the playoffs. All right, I think everyone would agree, because all of you out there said kick the field goal. Not one of you said go for it. Take the points. Abandon the run game. That's my really only criticism. What's third? What am I missing here? Is there a third major mistake that he made that I just can't think of right now? Does one stick out to you?
Not on offense.
Defense as well? I mean,
there was a couple of big plays on the defense.
Okay.
But, that happens. That's not a major
No
mistake.
safety help.
Right.
Greg Newsome got beat. A lot of people are saying that there was no safety help. I've had others try to argue that batted ball down by Trevor Lawrence, that Parker Washington wasn't open. And listen, I got 20/20 eyes from Shmunez vision. He was open. If he had another half second, he may have hit Parker Washington, and who knows? It could have been for a touchdown. But maybe I'm missing something that is just blatantly obvious, but I don't know what the third major mistake is.
He said it was the final play. He replied with the final play, having no
Okay.
timeouts going in the middle of the field.
That's before half? Or when it was picked?
When it was picked.
Okay. Well, that's the one that if he had another just a smidge of a second, I think he could have, thrown the ball to Parker Washington. Okay, appreciate that. That is Just the Guy. 904. You can check him out on YouTube, along with everyone else out there. Love the there's some controversy going on there as well about Shmunez's vision. Something about he went, had a great time. He took his wife there, fixed her eyes, 2020, and then she got a good look at the husband and she left him. So, I mean, that's what the crazies do if you want to join that, and I recommend it. I also recommend that you do it at home and you have a drink in your hand when you do so. What's my opinion? I'm not even going to talk about that. Okay. I mean, there's been, this thing is blown up more than anything. I didn't have a problem with anything that was said. I do think that that's better served one-on-one, but I didn't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with more than anything is, and I read this online, is what's his name? Pat McAfee? Pat McAfee coming out that people like me and people who are not former players and former coaches that most of us hate sports, that we are politically driven and that we wish that we could have gone into politics, but sports was an easier route. And I'm paraphrasing here. Are you kidding me? Man, I've been a sports fan since day one. This is a dream job for me. So what McAfee said bothers me. That guys like me hate sports. I don't hate sports. I love sports. I've watched it change over 35 years. Politics? Are you kidding me? I mean, that's one of the major reasons why I left Boston. I mean, look at the politics there. Look at the taxes in Boston. I was a little bit more well-read than the normal 16-year-old who thought of only their girlfriend and passing classes and playing athletics, right? That's one of the weather's the number one reason. Number two reason was everyone's angry and everyone's on each other. They couldn't agree on anything. And I said, forget about it. I'm leaving.
Politics just seems miserable.
It is.
Other than
there's no way around it. And no matter what you say politically speaking, 50% of the people are going to agree with you and 50% of the people are going to disagree with you. When I say something about sports, typically it's overwhelming where there's a major majority and a major minority.
Yeah, I heard Colin Cowherd say this, and I agree. 3 days where you would like to be in politics: the day before, the day of, and the day after the election. Other than that, it's a bunch of talk about war and a bunch of, policies in foreign countries. Yeah, no thanks.
I wish I was more involved locally in politics. I'm not. I stay, with more of the national scene, but I've always been deep into it. I just refuse to talk about it here. But as far as Lynn Jones, listen, I have real problems. I do. And had no issue with that at all. I am surprised that it's picked up the amount of attention it did pick up. But as far as, me having an issue with it, no, not at all. And it'll be interesting to see if this becomes somewhat of a trend. Here's the part of it that I don't think anyone's talked about. We're a copycat media, just like we are. The NFL has always been considered a copycat league. Is this going to become kind of the norm now, that no matter where a press conference occurs, you're going to get someone who is going to offer up condolences and show tremendous humanity and be nice in a very evil world? Let's talk about that to begin the 7 o'clock hour.
Let's do it.
We're up here against the break. I mean, and if you have a problem with that, you probably need to check yourself. Okay, folks, old school journalism is dead.
Putting the fence in defense.
The ball comes out! The ball has come out!
Each week, Superior Fence and Rail presents the Defensive Player of the Game on 1010XL.
Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
When the team heats up and the temps climb high, Sunrise Heating and AC keeps you cool. That's no lie. From kickoff to overtime and every long drive, they'll keep your home feeling fresh and alive. When your system's down, don't sweat the score. Sunrise Heating and AC of North Florida is ready to restore. Fast, honest service from a local crew, keeping Jacksonville fans chill all season through. Your comfort starts here at sunriseheatingandac.com.
Touchdown! This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 13th, 1999, Michael Jordan announces his second retirement just prior to the 98 season. He would later return to play in 2001 for the Washington Wizards.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. ChadandSandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Urology for common cancers of the prostate, bladder, and kidney. Early detection is key with 5 locations across Northeast Florida. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
It's a new year, and Aleve is here to help you keep your New Year's resolutions on track. Whether it's a daily walk, hitting the gym, or spending more time with friends and family, Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you moving with long-lasting body pain relief so you can chase those dreams and achieve your goals. Don't let body pain slow you down. Keep going with Aleve, because this year is your year. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, hour number 2 with Rick Ballou. It is the final week on your home of the Jags for Dylan Denmark. Gonna be a teacher, gonna be a coach, is a teacher, but gonna take that on full time. And we wish you the best around here. Of course, off air, I'll say something else, but on air, we want to make it seem like it's this was a resigning. This wasn't a forced out.
Yes.
Right.
My statement will come out Friday at 10 p.m.
It's a better story if it's firing. We in the media want a better story. We want something juicy. But the last 3 books that you've read, Dennis Lehane, I believe that's how you say his name. Maybe Lahaney, but I think it's Dennis Lehane. He's really good. He's written a lot of great books. Mystic River. He wrote The Drop. Mystic River is actually one of the very few movies where the movie is almost as good as the book. I honestly can say the only 2 movies I can think of that are better than the book is Peter Benchley's Jaws. The movie's better. And certainly Stephen King, The Shining. And that went in all different directions. They ended up hating each other. I can't think of the director of the show. Was it Stanley? It was Stanley Kubrick, I believe is how you pronounce his name. But anyway, I read the sequel to Gone Baby Gone. It was like 12 years later. And that was the movie that starred Casey Affleck and I forget the young lady involved. But very good book. Got a little long towards the end with Dennis Lehane. And then I've read a couple of Stephen Fry books that are really good. I read The Power Broker and I read Trust Fund. And I wish he didn't quit writing. He is like a former financial advisor who just kind of takes you to places in that world that I've never imagined. And that's what I've done. I'm reading a ton of fiction. I want true stories. I want true crime. I want biographies. I want autobiographies. I feel like I've read them all. I can't get them. I'm always up for a recommendation. If you can give me something that I should read, please do, because those people at Florida State, they did a really good job of teaching me how to weed in white. Okay. Dylan, is this a new trend? Are we going to start to get this? You know you're going to get it during media day at the Super Bowl, but you always got that anyway. Is this going to be kind of the norm with the new media, or do you think this is basically a one-and-done deal that happened here in Jacksonville?
I think it's a one-and-done. Now, ask me 5-10 years down the road, as each, generation keeps going by, I think people that keep getting credentials to either college games or the NFL, I think it will lean more fan because that's just what media's turning more toward, like you going to YouTube and seeing a fan reaction show. And not so much of being, you're taught in journalism school, or I was, 5, 6, 7 years ago, to be impartial and have no emotion. Well, people don't really want to see that anymore. People are turning more toward, I want to see someone that covers a team, but it's more of a fan. And I want to go to YouTube, or I want to go to, Twitter, or whatever they're saying. And I care more about what that person's saying as compared to someone that's not really impartial.
Yeah. I think people now want to identify with folks who they think are honest, but are fans of a team. And I think that's where about 95% of the people are. I don't know if I can think of one guy or gal in this town who doesn't want to see the Jaguars be successful. It's better for their job. It's better for the community. Okay? Where I come from, that's not the case. There are well-paid contrarians who already have a column written on how the Red Sox blew a game and blew a series. I don't get that around here. So it's been fascinating for me because I learned under Bowden, and there wasn't a better human being to learn under. And I was a Florida State graduate who was a huge Florida State fan. Now, I've dealt with trials and tribulations. What I get accused of all the time by Florida State fans as being a turncoat, as being someone who doesn't love the program, who's a closet Gator. And the reason is because there's incredibly thin skin with a lot of Florida State fans, okay? And, you know, they've always been second, right? They've always been behind Florida. So I think there's the victim in them that begins things, because it doesn't matter what I say, it's negativity that gets so talked about. Positive things go in one ear and out the other ear. Now, same deal with the Jaguars. However, the reaction is totally different. Totally different. I can count on one hand where I've been told, oh, you only say positive things about the Jaguars because you work on the home of the Jags, or for 8 years, you were the sideline reporter. Okay? I never have to defend myself. I think most of you out there understand that I'm always going to be honest. But sure, I want the team to win. All my friends here are Jaguar fans. All my clients here are Jaguar fans. You obviously can tell by my voice, by my attitude. Yes, I want to see the Jaguars do well. Okay? But I think where the line is drawn is that it doesn't have any bearing on what I'm going to say. Now, I've always battled people who all of a sudden wake up one day, even Albert Breer, who I really like, and we have him on the program time and again. I was actually called the turncoat back in high school when instead of playing Babe Ruth baseball at Acton Boxborough, I went ahead and played Legion baseball over at Lincoln Sudbury because Acton didn't have a Legion team. So I was called the turncoat when I was 16, 17 years of age. But Albert Breer's a Lincoln Sudbury guy. And he said the day that he became an NFL reporter, he gave up his allegiance as a sports fan. Find that hard to believe. He left Lincoln Sudbury, went to Ohio State. He's a huge Buckeye fan. He makes absolutely no qualms about that. But I got to believe you cut him up, he's a Pats fan. I was a Pats fan when I got here. I upset so many of you when I was on the ball in the mid-'90s because I was an open New England Patriots fan. I didn't become a Jaguars fan until I decided to move my family back here in 2006 after 7 years in Chicago. I wouldn't have come back here if that wasn't the case. But I love people who, I'm on a fan. Stop it. Stop it. Those days are gone. Everyone's a fan of the team. The biggest spectrum of it all, ESPN, you know that Stephen A. Smith's a New York Knicks fan. Mm-hmm. And no one has paid more money in the media than he is. And McAfee is the one that really bothers me about saying that we don't like the gig. McAfee puts himself, and all the power to him, it's working. Did you see him and how it was like a wrestling moment when he embraced Mario Cristobal on the field after Miami knocked off Mississippi? He's making it all about him. He's very self-serving, which is okay because it's adding zeros to his paycheck. But he is a total fan of predictions that he makes and people that he likes and teams that he likes.
Yeah, I think it is people that don't like him, and the people that don't like him, he makes assumptions of. I think that's more of what it is as opposed to what media really is today as a journal. I think that's more of the opinion that he was kind of putting out there, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't dislike him. I don't agree with what he said, whether it was today or yesterday. That people like me, folks who didn't play the sport, don't like sports.
Yeah, that's not true.
That's wrong.
Because even like for most people that at least I know that cover media, whatever realm, they love the sport or they love a team. That's why they got into media, is because they know that they couldn't have been a professional athlete, or they just like, doing this on an everyday basis.
Yeah, I'm too honest, frankly. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I don't enjoy college football now as well as I used to because of the NIL and because of the transfer portal. But I'll also come right out and admit it. It also has a great deal to do with the fact that Florida State sucks. Okay? I mean, I'm not going to avoid my truth. So,
And you're not the only one.
That has a little something to do with it.
Yeah, I know another Florida State fan. I was talking with one of my coaches, and he's like, I don't even care about college football no more. I was talking about the portal and this and that, and he's like, I don't even care.
My biggest problem with the NFL is simple. It's the officiating. There's no reprimand. It's the only thing in sports where they are not allowed to be called to the carpet. Okay? They're not. They're invisible. They are mistake-filled with zero accountability. Sometimes they provide one pool reporter who can go ask questions about why this happened and why that happened. The league is so messed up. We still can't figure out if it's a catch or it's not a catch. We still can't figure out, was he inbounds, was he not inbounds? There are certain things that they have done better with. Heck, the human touch outdid the computer with the newly installed, eye in the sky electronic measurement or whatever they call it. They reversed it. Since when have you ever known that a human is right over a computer? And it happened in that situation.
Doesn't it feel like in the NFL, a lot of the legendary referees that you saw for decades and decades have retired recently in the last couple of years, and now you're seeing more referees, and that's kind of part of to why the refereeing, at least seems like this year, it seems like it's a little worse than it has been as of late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. The thing that happened Sunday, I actually forgot about it. I had until, I think I put my phone away. I'm trying to remember what I did. The GF's been out of town, so crying out loud, man. I mean, God bless her, man. There's dishes and there's clothes, stuff all over the place.
I'm raw cookie dough.
I'm just rattled. I really am. And yeah, so I'm, I was thinking I was going to grab a couple of cocktails, and I was like, nah, just lay it on the lazy boy and started watching the games. And I think I just put my phone away, which, by the way, can be like as refreshing as working in 110-degree temperature and diving into a pool. I don't think anything is more refreshing every once in a while than just taking your cell phone and putting it away.
Yeah, and it's a lot healthier that way. I think it's a lot healthier for our profession, because when you watch a game, and you talked about watching it on mute like I do sometimes as well, and you're not scrolling on Twitter or whatever, you just have your thoughts as opposed to what everybody else is thinking, and then you have to respond to what everybody else is thinking instead of just saying, here's what I think about the game, and then go.
Yeah, I mean, my thought, that's been huge. I've gone through different stages in my life where all I do is listen to sports talk radio. I've gone through other stages of my life where I don't listen at all before I go on, because my ideas in my mind are fresh. And again, they could have been just talked about an hour ago, 2 hours ago, 5 hours ago. And again, that's kind of a process. There are times where I'm fully in. There are times where I'm kind of in. There are times where I'm just out. But yeah, when I woke up on Monday and saw that, I was surprised at the traction that it got. But I don't have a problem with it. Again, my problem was McAfee, who's so gifted, yet he took major shortcuts. He's a former player who is outspoken. He's new media. His deal is, and I never watch him, this is what I see and what I read on Twitter, is that he never refuses to admit that he's part of the media. Well, he's credentialed. He's on the sideline for games. He's part of the media. There's not a third category, okay, unless he thinks he's a Matthew McConaughey or someone like that, and that, he talks sports. So whether he wants to believe it or not, he's a member of the media. But I do really have a problem with that. And I love him to mention names. I mean, seriously. I just think of the people here at this company, the interns that I hear from all the time, people who want to be interns, how I started working for free because of my love for sports. To be told that people like us would rather be covering politics than sports. Sports is a freaking diversion from the everyday grind. It's a diversion from politics. And by the way, those political hosts, you talk about the situation that happened here Sunday after the game, okay? You watch Buffalo knock off Jacksonville, whether you're Jacksonville, National, or Buffalo, you're going to recap that game, and it's going to be very similar about the good and the bad. You go the way of politics, and you flip stations, the same story is being brought to you from a totally different direction. Who wants... No. Hell no. I would much rather be in politics than be a political reporter. That's not even close. I may do that. But we'll make sure you get rid of the Tiffany and Amber's perfume in that smell before the girlfriend gets back. Moondark Sid. Very, very good, Moondark Sid. And how did you know?
Speed.
45-50.
Talent.
How high can you leap?
Opportunity.
Just when they needed it most.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game. Experience the universal difference on 1010XL.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. How'd you get your money so quick?
Hard Rock Bet's got lightning fast withdrawals.
Almost as fast as Dale Jr. valeting cars at this party.
Man, he's fast.
Hard Rock Bet's fast withdrawals have given me new motivation. Tips are appreciated.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or two. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
XL Prime Time is back where they belong.
Wait a minute, I know where that is.
Lunch is on Josie, Matt Hayes, and Leon.
You could lay a little barbecue on us?
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
But somebody else is going to have to cook it.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Mike Dempsey here. It's truck time at Big #1 Duval Ford. Check out their huge selections of brand new F-150s, America's best-selling truck for over 40 years. Right now, drive one home with an incredible 0% financing for 60 months, plus no payments for 90 days. That's right, 0 interest and no payments till next year. Your new F-150 is waiting at Big #1 Duval Ford. Visit DuvalFord.com or stop by 1616 Cassett Avenue today.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Don't wait for leaks to tell you it's time. Start the new year with a roof built to last from Romano Brothers Roofing, serving Jacksonville for over 45 years. Their family-owned team handles repairs, full replacements, and residential or commercial installs, including durable metal roofs. They even do remodels and additions. Call 904-246-5649 or visit RomanoBrothersRoofing.com for a free estimate. License number CCC 1328893.
Happy New Year from Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It is 2026. Is this what you've been waiting for? Is the time now for you to drop the weight with Awaken 180 Weight Loss? Look, the time was right for me. I had to do something. I remember looking at myself in the mirror, just couldn't believe it, man. I was going down a bad path. found out about the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss, started talking with a coach, and instantly I knew that is exactly what I needed. Awaken 180 changed my life. I lost over 100 pounds. Guys, take it from somebody that lost triple digits on this program. It worked for me. It will work for you. No shots, no pills. You do it the natural way with the terrific coaching of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or go to Awaken180weightloss.com and do what I did with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, let's grab some of your thoughts on this. Random fire. 2228 Ballou, don't tell Collinsworth Mahomes is done. He might quit an ounce. I love the guy who imitates. I see it pops up every once in a while on a reel. The guy who imitates Chris Collinsworth on Mahomes. Mahomes is going to come back. No question about it. He's going to be better than ever. I agree, Ballou. He's an average coach, but what in the hell did he do to abandon the run? I didn't say he's an average coach. Okay. I think he's a very good coach. He made a mistake there. No doubt about it. Again, that goes to the typical, it doesn't matter what I say, it only matters what you hear. 59-73, isn't Cleveland getting rid of an established, a decent coach for a chance of getting a 20-something-year-old first decision offensive coordinator that doesn't even call his own plays? Quintessential Cleveland stupidity. I laughed so hard when I first heard it this morning. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he gets the job, unless someone just thinks that here he is. This guy's going to be sensational. This guy's going to be really, really top of the game. And they may think that. He's a brilliant mind. You listen to Liam Cohen, you listen to Trevor Lawrence. He is very highly thought of. I just think he's a little young for the gig. He just barely turned 30. And, you know, usually it's like don't discriminate with age. And it's usually someone's getting, you know, a little bit longer in the tooth. It's not that you're too young and you're not qualified for that yet. Remember, well, that's a bad example because there are a lot of turds on the team, but Lane Kiffin had no discipline when he had the Raiders. I remember him trying to talk a game here to Warren Sapp, and Warren Sapp just basically pushed away and laughed at it. I know Warren Sapp was in his own little world and is one of the greatest defensive tackles to ever play the game, but you know, you go to a place like that at the age of 30, you need a strong personality, and you need to bring some people with you that know what's going on.
Yeah, like when Sean McVay first got the job, his DC was Wade Phillips, who was well-respected, and I think he was in his 70s at the time. That was one of the big things, like when Liam Cohen took the job, what's his staff look like? Mm-hmm. And it's a bunch of young guys. I know he's got a couple of older position group coaches, but for the most part, it's a bunch of guys, you know, in their 30s or young 40s that are his coordinators, and it's worked so far.
90-08 Blue. I have to disagree. Who wants to listen to Mike Tomlin talk about anything? The guy has a personality of a 2x4, and he's boring. Yeah, but he may come out of his shell. I thought Belichick came out of his shell. I think Saban's more open. And I say that in very limited situations because I don't watch the show. Sometimes I get them on Twitter. Sometimes I get a reel or a clip, or whatever it may be. Dylan and I talked about it later. It just seems like, the pregame, in-game, post-game, halftime, they just give you the highlights and sit around and laugh. And again, it's an unbelievable gig. It's the best job that you could have in broadcasting.
Yeah, just because a coach doesn't say anything in his weekly presser and after the game doesn't mean that's how he's going to be in the media. I mean, those coaches, they've been taught their whole life not to say anything to anyone about anything.
56-53, but the Bears and Patriots were the only two teams to win during the wild card weekend at home, not Los Angeles. I was incorrect. I think that's the first mistake I've made maybe this year. 94-04. There's a possibility of Cignetti leaving IU for the Steelers. Yeah, you're like the third or fourth person who's got to me on that. I would be beyond shocked. Why would you leave that gig? I mean, the amount of money you're going to make, you just sign that contract. You're never going to have to buy a dinner for the rest of your life if you win the national championship on Monday. This isn't going to be like LSU where they run Coach O out, a couple of years later. That's not going to be the case. But I don't know much about him at all. We'll see what ends up happening. 60-84, Rick, the additions. At this point, Parker progressed the lack of a third elite. Let me try this again. Rick, there'll be additions, but at this point, the way Parker progressed and the lack of an elite corner has me thinking Hunter CB1 next season. That's the conventional way of thinking about it. But I know that you're smart enough to understand that when you hear from people, you probably won't locally, but when you hear from people to say, the Jaguars have to pick a side, they got to play him on defense, he can't deal with the wear and tear of the NFL, that's incorrect. Okay? Travis Hunter hurt himself on a non-contact drill at the Miller Electric Center. He didn't hurt himself. He didn't get carted off the field. So there's a major difference there, okay? Now, I know bottom line, he didn't last, yada, yada, yada. Okay, whatever, right? But there's a difference. There's a clear-cut difference. You cannot say with knowledge that he can't handle the rigors of an NFL season by playing both ways. Your point is well taken. It looks like that's where they're going to go. Newsom's not coming back. I'd re-sign Buster Brown. Jarian Jones played so well, but it was a bad game for him yesterday. Losing Jordan Lewis hurt. He's back for at least one more year. And, you keep looking at positions of need and where Jacksonville's going. Corner's perhaps number one. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if you re-sign Buster Brown, you get back Jordan Lewis, and you put Travis Hunter there, you got three corners, and you still have, Jarian Jones had a great year. He had a bad game, a really bad game, but that gives you four, corners. Do I want to do that right now? I don't want to do what I want to do. Rick, I'm really disappointed in the local media, this and that. All right, getting on the young lady. We've addressed that. I don't know if anyone did it here at the radio station. I didn't hear it. Again, I think I've said all I needed to say on it. I was surprised it got the traction that it got. I had no problem with it. Still have no problem with it. I'm actually more bothered by Pat McAfee saying guys like me don't like sports. I mean, how stupid is that? Devoted my entire professional life to this, and I don't like sports. 11-17, I'm on your side. Go for fourth down and go up 14-3. It was abandoning the run that I felt that Cohen missed on. There you go, 11-17. If I was with you right now, I'd buy all you can drink. A man or a woman who can actually admit that they wanted him to go for it. I've never seen in anything in sports that changes like that on fourth down. And frankly, I love it. College or pro. Your initial reaction is to always go for it. And then when you don't get it, you say, why do they go for it? 11-17, take a bow. 1967, they put zero pressure on Josh Allen. Only went after him a couple of times. Let me see here. I got it written down. I tell you the part that's scary is you see that Houston, sacked him 8 times. Now, Houston's defense is ridiculous. It is in a class by itself. I don't think anyone is going to argue that. Let's see. Pressures by the Jaguars, according to Pro Football Focus. 5 by Josh Hines-Allen. He had a sack. Devin Lloyd with 3. Trayvon Walker, Dennis Gardeck, and Devon Hamilton with 2. You have 1 apiece for Green, Dickerson, Smoot, and Armstead. Armstead, this is according to Daniel Griffiths. Armstead in weeks 1 through 12 had 3.73 pressures a game on average and 5.5 sacks. Weeks 14 through the wild card, he dipped to 1.33 pressures a game and 0 sacks. I think he had a clause in his contract where if he got like 2 more sacks, he would have made like an additional $1 million. I believe. I may be wrong with
that. Talking about Armstead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yada, 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 yada. 28-35, the idiot was just trying to shame you. Well, did he accomplish that? I don't know what idiot you're talking about, but don't know. That's a little deep for me. It's a little deep. 0148 Ballou, James Clark. I don't know what any of this means. Attention, Coach Denmark. Oh, okay. In 1,000 years, James Clerk Maxwell will stand on a Mount Rushmore of history. With maybe Nikola Tesla, the American Civil War, World War I, World War II, will be mere footnotes when compared to their work. This is stuff you got to know as a teacher, I guess.
Yes.
Are they rewriting history the way that they have rewritten math?
Math is insane now.
I remember when my kids came home years ago and asked me to help them with math, and I was like,
there's no shot.
Well, Daddy went to college. I see in Daddy's office, he's got his Florida State diploma. Let's ask Daddy to help us with our math work. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I have no clue here.
I remember my brother being in elementary school, and the way they taught him multiplication could not have been nowhere near the same how I was taught multiplication. It's boxes. So if it's like 10 times 11, you got 10 at the top and you got 11 on the side, and you draw a box. And so you do 1 times 1, 1 times 0, 1 times 1, 1 times 0. And then you like add up the 4 squares instead of just doing how we usually teach where, you draw the line, you draw the X, and then how normal people. But yeah, just something like that. Just completely insane.
Yeah, I was mentioning, that was Mystic River. I was thinking of the other one. I mentioned Dennis Lehan, the author, a little bit earlier. What's the one with Damon and Affleck where he's a janitor, but he's a math whiz? I forget the name of the movie. The Boston movie. And those Hollywood freaks, they didn't even take a real bar out of Harvard Square. You realize that? They had to create their own bar. Right, the ones at Harvard Square wasn't good enough for them. Same thing with the scene in the Whitey Bulger movie, Black Mass. Now there's an example by Peter Moss. There's a way, way better book than a movie. But they went to the infamous, right next to, it's like the oldest bar in Chicago, and it's on the tip of my tongue. Oldest bar in Boston on the tip of my tongue. It's right there. Oh, gosh. But anyway, they had to change that. They had to change the restaurant, change the bar. The Bell's Hand. There you go, the Bell's Hand. See, I still got it. It just takes me a second, sometimes a little bit longer. For those of you who ever visited Boston, you probably went through the Bell's Hand. Right next to, several great bars. You used to have the Purple Shamrock there, and you got the Chowder House there, some other good ones as well. But, I mean, that is so historic. Yet the Hollywood people had to come in and say, nah, we need to change this around. Why are you changing it around if that's when Whitey met John Connolly, or when they met both writers from the Boston Globe? Why not do it the way that they did it and said they have to base it on a true story and change the entire friggin' bar? It's another reason why I left Boston.
It's a snapshot in time.
Unbelievable concentration.
But in the end, there's always a play that stood out.
And there's the biggest play of the day.
Listen for the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game on 1010XL.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
You like winning? This is former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus, and I'm excited to introduce you to J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Greater Jacksonville. If you're a property manager, contractor, builder, realtor, or homeowner, get that feeling of success with less stress. I've used them. My friends have used them. So get your free junk removal and hauling estimate today. Now, I call that a win. Veteran-owned and operated J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256. We haul it all.
Ready to race Jacksonville? Indoor racing anytime at K1 Speed. Fast electric karts, real competition, and family fun. Buy 2 races, get 1 free every Tuesday. Cruise over to K1 Speed Jacksonville today, your top destination for indoor racing.
Join the movement at the Foundation 5000, Saturday, January 17th at UF Health in St. Augustine. The Community 5K supports the UF Health St. John's Foundation Care Connect mobile outreach and clinic, delivering vital medical care to those who need it most. Run or walk with 96 Olympian Keith Brantley, or come enjoy the Asian market, open to runners and non-runners alike. Sign up today at runsignup.com. Search Foundation 5000.
I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bragan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99. 904-862-6769 or DuckDuckRooter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, we get to the divisional round, and yeah, I get it. It's painful. There are 8 teams left, 4 games, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. Bills at Broncos, Denver favored by 1.5. 49ers at Seahawks, a divisional rematch here. They'll do it for the 3rd time. They split the regular season. Seattle favored by 7.5. And then on Sunday, the Texans at the Patriots, New England favored by a field goal. The Rams at the Bears. Los Angeles is the only road favorite of the 4 ball games. Also, if you're joining us for the first time after 19 years, he never had a losing season. Mike Tomlin has resigned as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tough to believe that the Rooney family, their loyalty is actually admirable. You've only had 3 coaches in their lifetime. And it goes as Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Let's see, I got this sent to me earlier today. Let's see here. The heck did I do with it? It was the... All right, here we go. Brian Flores is your leader at 3-1. Marcus Freeman plus 350. Jesse Minter 4-1. Larry Foote and Chris Shula both at 5-1. If you're wondering about Anthony Campanile, he's 12-1. All right, and Grant Udinski is not on this list. So we'll see what ends up happening. So 9 vacancies right now in the NFL. And where the Jaguars are, I mean, there's so much happening. And this organization, you know, signed 15 players yesterday, for the most part, practice squad players that they have under their wing for another year. The league year doesn't begin until March 11th. And on that day, you can begin with free agency. They have to be under the salary cap by that day. Right now, it appears they're not going to be that active. They're going to have to find ways in order to, create some cash. They're going to have to restructure some contracts. They're probably going to release a few players as well. So you have that coming up. Then the NFL draft is in 100 days. The most important thing right now, if you live in the now, is to make sure you keep this staff as it is. And the beginning part of all of that is keeping Anthony Campanile and Grant Udinski right here in Duval. All right. I never got to my list. We were too busy tonight. I'll save that for tomorrow night. I'm going to start bringing in some guests again. I've said a lot to say the last couple of days after the Jaguar season has come to an end. So we'll begin to dive into that tomorrow night, and that'll, certainly be the case for the rest of the week. And then, as we move forward, it's going to be very intriguing to see what the Jaguars do. I think it's going to be really a lot of fun to watch these moves that they make during the offseason. I've said it all along. I'm going to say it again. I think they'll be a better team next year. And that begins almost immediately with putting together this roster. All right, we got much more to do, including Hacker Nation, who will join you. That's coming up at 8 o'clock.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole-body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Pages in your mailbox right now.
It's 2026, and it's time to get your home zero-resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning right now, plus take $100 off air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Hey, David again here with Royal Pet Services. It's that time of year when rodents start making their way into our homes. Layson, tell them what they need to get in.
A quarter-size hole.
That's right. That's all they need. Hey, tell them where to go for a free attic and exterior inspection.
Visit RoyalPetServices.com.
Pick it here for Oceanside Cleaners, the very best in dry cleaning service. Free pickup and delivery, or use their self-service kiosk in Ponte Vedra and Southside for drop-off and pickup. Dry cleaning, laundry, bedding, and bridal gown preservation. If it's got fabric, they can clean it. Oceanside Cleaners.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Happy New Year, sports fans. Hicken here, and let's keep the skincare talk going while we ring in the new year. We know it's winter, a little cold outside. That sun is still shining, so let's always be reminded to take care of our skin. Beaches Dermatology now has a new location open in Fernandina. So if you live just a little north of Duval, you can now see the pros at Beaches Dermatology without having to make the drive to Jax. Go online to beachesdermatology.com to book your skincare appointment today. That's beachesdermatology.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, time for Hacker Nation. A 9th vacancy is open today. Mike Tomlin resigns from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Absolutely wild times. Think about John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, 18 years competing in the AFC North against each other, and within the span of 1 week, both guys now gone. And the fact that the Ravens and the Steelers will have new coaches is wild. And for Pittsburgh, it'll be only their 4th head coach dating back to 1969.
Yeah, who would have thought going into the year, midway through the year, even towards the end of the year, that the only coach who would survive that division is Zach Taylor.
Yeah. And he was not looking good there for a while without Joe Burrow. Tomlin, to me, I mean, he's going to television, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
He's going to go to TV. He's probably going to take the Sean Payton route. Now, the interesting thing, though, is I believe even after he goes to TV, if he wants to get back in 2027, Pittsburgh is going to have to receive some sort of compensation because they did not fire him. They parted ways, but he's still under contract. So some team is going to have to give Pittsburgh something if they want to hire Mike Tomlin as their head coach.
No doubt about it. And he is under contract, as you pointed out, for 2 more years. So compensation absolutely is going to have to happen. But, yeah, I mean, why not? You're going to get paid millions and millions of dollars. The seat's going to open for Jimmy Johnson at Fox, and I've seen that may be a possibility.
Matt Ryan's out at CBS because he's now the president of the Falcons.
By the way, those are the best jobs in the media, period, because they don't give you anything you don't already know. It's it's almost like it's built for the casual NFL fan who's been busy working with kids all week, and it's, kickoff in 30 minutes. Let's give you the nuts and bolts. Halftime, all they do is sit around, laugh, have a good time, and they make millions of dollars.
And I think Tomlin would be fantastic in that role. I've always liked him. I've always liked hearing him talk about the game. I think in a studio setting like that, he'll be great.
Yeah. All right, what do you got coming up tonight?
Yeah, tonight I was hoping to talk to this guy in a couple of weeks, but normally after the Jaguar season comes to an end, I do a Blue Season off print with Mike Giannetti, who's the owner and the founder of the website Spot Track, and I got about almost 20 minutes with Mike earlier on this afternoon. It is a deep dive into free agency. It's a deep dive into the salary cap. We're going to talk Monteric Brown, Greg Newsome, Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne. I asked about Walker Little as well. It is a deep dive with Mike Giannetti. Spot Track is certainly one of the websites this time of year, and we're going to talk a lot about the Jaguar offseason blueprint tonight.
All right, look forward to that. What time is that going to be again?
That'll be right about 8:30, 8:35 tonight.
Well, look forward. I'll listen to that on the way home. That's going to do it. Have a good, fun show, Hack.
Thanks, Rick.
That'll do it for us. I appreciate all the input tonight. Some great stuff, both on our text line, which is 1010XL into the night, and as well on, which is brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. Of course, you can watch on Into the Night on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night. Remember, we're always on 92.5 FM into the night, all right? And you can pick up the app and take it with you no matter where you go. That's 92.5 FM. The app. Thank you to Dylan Denmark. I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk tomorrow at 6 o'clock right here on your home of the Jags.